So now we're going to try and rapid fire as WWE is cutting staff following Vince McMahon's return. And this is simply put just, well, WWE cutting office staff, not talent, office staff. It could be salaries, it could be, streamlining of departments, it could be anything. But what we do know, we don't have a lot of details on this situation, as it is a private situation, which also points to the fact that it's not the talent. Not to say that, WWE doing this with talent is not a private situation, but it does seem like from the standpoint of day-to-day operations, we're less likely to hear about it, but from the standpoint of the talent, we are more likely to hear about it. But, the fact of the matter is, it could just be, from my standpoint, it seems like something that WWE is doing to help make the company look a bit more appealing from the standpoint of a prospective buyer, because there is some streamlining that is necessary to make departments look a little bit better and the company look a little bit more presentable from to a potential buyer. Then it would be, it's like, do you need six executive vice presidents, or can you streamline it down to 3 and just cut, people's power, people's paycheck, yada, 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 yada. It's never a fun thing, but it's something that companies do traditionally to make the company look a little bit better and a little bit more attractive to potential buyers. The Firefly Funhouse also returned on SmackDown last week, or yesterday. We haven't seen the Firefly Funhouse set since Extreme Rules, where it looked very dilapidated and very, like it hasn't been touched in a few years. Because the Firefly Funhouse is something that has not been touched in 2 years, and it was the last time, pretty much since the last time Bray was with WWE, because the last time he was with WWE, the last time we saw him was an edition of the Firefly Funhouse. So the fact that they brought it back, shows. I mean, I don't think it really shows anything. I think it's just a way, they're using it as a tool to promote the event and to further the mind games between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight, but also to further the appearance of control that Uncle Howdy has over not just Bray but also Alexa Bliss. Because if you look at the Alexa Bliss segments, when Uncle Howdy appears or when the Firefly logo appears, then the mannerisms and the personality of those that, Bray or Alexa, the personality of those two change once something relating to Uncle Howdy appears. So you have to figure that Uncle Howdy has something to do with it. But I think it's just going to be used as a tool in this story, and I don't think it's going to be back permanently. I just think it's going to be used for the story right now. But, also, let's now go back to Clash of Champions 2019, where Dax Harwood tells a story about Vince McMahon basically telling him, you're just a good wrestler. That him and Cash Wheeler are just good wrestlers, nothing else. That they are Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, and that they are nothing but good wrestlers. And the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, that proves that Vince just doesn't like tag team wrestling. It just proves that Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling, and there's nothing wrong with that, but just Vince doesn't see value in tag team wrestling like he should, because there is actually value in tag team wrestling. Look at the New Day, for example. Look at the Usos, for example. Neither one of them are going to get broken up. The only reason why the Usos had the time, spent the time away that they did, and it made Jay into main event Jey Uso, is because Jimmy was injured. But once Jimmy came back, the Usos became a premier tag team in WWE again, and everything changed. So to say that, Vince McMahon doesn't believe in tag team wrestling, he doesn't, but he also doesn't see value in the tag teams like he should, because you push a tag team enough, they could become main event talent like the Rock and Roll Express and the Road Warriors were in the NWA. But notice the status of both those teams in WWE. I mean, yes, to be fair, by the time the Rock and Roll Express were in WWE, they weren't really premier athletes anymore and were past their primes. But they would have been more than capable of being something more than just cannon fodder like they were in WWE when they appeared in the company. And I do think that Cash and Dax showed that they are more than capable singles competitors last year. But I'm not saying that they should have been broken up. I'm just saying that they are more than capable of being singles competitors and being in a singles match and tearing down the house. Because if you go back in time, to the NWA, there was a time when the Rock and Roll Express would still be a team, but compete in singles matches against Ric Flair for a shot at the NWA title. Same with the Road Warriors. They were more than capable of competing in singles matches, even as a tag team. It's just that Vince doesn't see value in people who are just good wrestlers and not good sports entertainers. That's why he loves the New Day. That's why he loves the Usos. And that's why the Usos were the team that were made to look better than FTR at the end of FTR's run in WWE. Now we go to the Raw 30 update, and the Raw 30 update is that a number of new legends are set to appear, including Jimmy Hart, Hulk Hogan, Ted DiBiase, IRS, and a smattering of others: Ric Flair, Triple H, Undertaker, Godfather. The list goes on and on and on and on and on about Sean Waltman. I mean, you have to wonder if Kevin Nash may be there. Shawn Michaels is going to be there. The Road Dogg's going to be there. It's going to be a spectacular edition of Monday Night Raw this Monday night, as WWE celebrates 30 years of Monday Night Raw this week, as I was pushing the wrong button, and that's why I lost. But either way, WWE is going to be celebrating 30 years of Monday Night Raw this Monday night, so it's going to be a spectacular night and a super night of professional wrestling on January 23rd, as not only is Raw 30 a special night with a lot of legends returning to WWE, but it is the go-home episode of Raw before the Royal Rumble, and also Judgment Day versus the Usos, Bayley versus Becky Lynch inside a steel cage, Theory versus Lashley, and actually the other title match was the other match that was set for Monday night, but it's going to be a spectacular night that you're not going to want to miss. But with that being said, we got another news video to get to, so bear with me and I will see you in the next one.